18-year-old Natalee Ann Holloway lived in Mountain Brook, Alabama. In May of 2005, she graduated from Mountain Brook High School. Natalee was a member of the National Honor Society and a school dance squad. The next year, she was scheduled to attend the University of Alabama on a full scholarship. On May 26, 2005, Natalee and 124 of her fellow graduates of Mountain Brook arrived in Stad, Aruba for a 5-day unofficial graduation trip. 7 chaperones from the school went along, but as you can imagine, they were not able to track the whereabouts of all the students. Natalee was scheduled to fly back home on May 30, 2005, but she failed to appear for her flight. Her family was immediately worried. Her mother and a stepfather flew to Aruba by private jet to find out what was going on. In Natalee's hotel room, her packed luggage and her passport were found, but no sign of her. Some of Natalee's classmates said that they last saw her at 1:30 in the morning on May 30. She was last seen leaving a nightclub called Carlos and Charlie's. Natalee left in a car with 17-year-old Joran van der Sloot and 2 brothers, 21-year-old Deepak Kalpo and 18-year-old Satish Kalpo. Natalee's parents and 2 Aruban policemen then went to Joran's home to look for Natalee. He initially denied knowing Natalee, but quickly changed his story. He said that they took Natalee to the California lighthouse area of Arashi Beach because she wanted to see sharks. They then dropped her off at 2 a.m. at her hotel. Joran claims that Natalee fell down as she climbed out of the car, as she was very drunk. Joran also claims that as they were driving away, Natalee was approached by a dark man in a black top, similar to those used by security guards. Joran's story was corroborated by Deepak, who was also in the house. It is not known if the story is true, however, as Natalee was not seen on the nighttime surveillance camera footage of the hotel lobby. It was possible for Natalee to reach her hotel room without using the hotel lobby, so it cannot be determined if she made it back to the hotel that evening or not. Hundreds of volunteers from Aruba and the United States joined in the effort of searching for Natalee. The Aruban government gave thousands of civil servants the day off to participate in a search effort. This included 50 Dutch Marines who conducted an extensive search of the shoreline. $20,000 was also raised to provide support and aid to the volunteer search teams. On June 5th, Aruban police arrested Nick John and Abraham Jones on suspicion of kidnapping. The 2 men were former security guards known for cruising hotels to pick up women. The 2 men were released a few days later, however. On June 9, Joran, Deepak and Satish were all arrested for suspicion of kidnapping and taking the life of Natalee. They were interviewed and all of them changed their stories multiple times, especially Joran. They said that I dropped her off at a hotel, and later they said that I left her on a beach. It was just a confusing mess. Despite investigators believing that these men were involved, they had to be let go as there was no physical evidence. A local man told investigators that he saw Joran, Deepak and Satish at a small pond near the hotel Natalee was staying in about an hour after she was last seen. The pond was drained on July 27, 2005, but no signs of Natalee was found in the pond or the surrounding area. Another man claimed that he saw men burying a blonde-haired woman in a landfill on a day that Natalee was last seen. The FBI used cadaver dogs in a search at a landfill, but they were not able to find Natalee. Natalee's family offered $175,000 for her safe return. It was later increased to $1 million. As time went on, however, it was changed to $250,000 for any information leading to Natalee's remains. Joran had a lot of media interviews, including interviews on Fox News in 2006. He then claimed that after they left Carlos and Charlie's, the 4 of them went to Joran's home because Natalee wanted to see if he had a big house. Deepak and Satish then dropped off Joran and Natalee on a beach where the two of them stayed until after 3 in the morning. Joran claimed that Satish went to come pick him up and they left Natalee on a beach as they felt she would be able to get back to her hotel on her own. In April 2007, Joran published a book called The Zaak, Natalee Holloway, which is Dutch for the case of Natalee Holloway. In the book, he admitted that he had lied to the media and investigators many times regarding the case, but he also maintained his innocence. In January of 2008, a Dutch crime reporter by the name of Peter de Vries claimed that he had solved the case. He said that he would explain it all on a Dutch television show, which he did a few weeks later. He showed footage taken from hidden cameras and microphones in a car owned by Patrick van der Eem. In a video, Joran can be seen in a passenger seat smoking weed and confessing that he was involved in disposing of Natalee's body. In the video, Joran claims that he was sitting on the beach with Natalee when she began convulsively shaking and then became unresponsive. He claimed that he attempted to revive her, but with no success. Joran said that he then called a friend who told him to go home while the friend would dispose of her body.
Maar heb jij niet geprobeerd reanimeren?
Tuurlijk, Pet, ik heb alles geprobeerd, man. Ik heb haar geprobeerd te schudden. Ik zat dat lijf te schudden van wat doet is er met je, man. Ik wou bijna huilen van waarom moet dit shit met mij zo gebeuren.
Tuurlijk hoor, tuurlijk.
En ik zeg tegen de krant, gaan we het oplossen? Toen zei hij, ja, de boot staat daar zo, staat daar zo bij die pier zo, ik weet het ook.
Ja.
En hij zei tegen me, ja oké, nou help me dan eventjes.
Ja.
En dus hebben we gewoon haar genomen naar die boot toe.
Getild.
Ja, met z'n tweetjes even snel. En hij
niemand heeft
tegen me van, wat zei hij toen tegen me? Toen ik daar was, zei hij van ja, maar weet je, je moet wel morgen naar school toe gaan en die dingen, want als er een vermist meisje is, dan...
Hij is slim, Joran.
En met dus dingen ook, ik zei ja, je hebt helemaal...
After the show was broadcast, Joran denied that what he said on the tape was true. In November 2006, he changed his story once again and claimed that he had sold Natalee into slavery and that she was taken to Venezuela. In March of 2010, Joran contacted the Holloway family's legal representative. He said that he would reveal the location of Natalee's body if they gave him $250,000. After contacting the FBI, the family agreed to make the payment. Joran then made up some more lies. On May 30, 2010, exactly 5 years after Natalee went missing to the day, Stephanie Flores Ramirez was reported missing in Lima, Peru. A few days later, her body was found in a hotel room that was registered on Joran's name. He was arrested and taken to Peru. He then confessed that he took her life. He said that he had lost his temper when she accessed his laptop without his permission. On January 11, 2012, he pled guilty to taking Stephanie's life and he was sentenced to 28 years. This shows that he is capable of taking someone's life and made even more people believe that he is responsible for Natalee's disappearance.